Good morning and welcome to the next podcast of Andy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia. I'd just like to thank Peter Schofield and James Merchant for those lovely videos from Pete's collection over there in Australia. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed those. There's some fantastic rarities there in that collection. Some lovely badges at the end and some postcards. Fantastic for anybody's collection, but pretty rare thing. So it's great to see. Thank you very much. And hopefully they might be doing a few more in the future. So get a few more rarities on camera, as it were, that's tucked away in people's collections. So anyway, it's been a funny few weeks since the last time I spoke to you, including the passing of my brother, who unfortunately went last weekend. So it's been in reflective mood last week or so. So Bridget and Cricket Memorabilia have kept my Becca up, what bits and pieces that come through the post. So I'll start with a couple of bits that came through the magazines. We've got the Cricket Society bulletin, news bulletin there, with the book of the year, which was run by David Woodhouse. I was fortunate enough to get involved with that a couple of years ago, but looks like a successful evening for David Woodhouse there at the Cricket Society evening at Lord's, so well done to him. And in the Journal of the Cricket Society, volume 31, number 2, spring 2022. So we've got a lovely portrait there of Shane Warne, who we're already missing in the commentary box. Great bowler, probably the greatest bowler that's ever lived, I should think. So will there be another one? Who knows, but I hope there will be. So rest in peace, Shane Warne. Some interesting articles here, brilliant book reviews. And pleasingly, David Fift's got his in there, so he was well pleased with that. Eventually, they did a book review on his Paddington Boy. So a nice journal there from Cricket Society. And then Cricket Memorabilia Society quarterly magazine arrived. A lovely photograph there of the Kent trophy there that was sold at auction. Some lovely articles in here. What's new in memorabilia? Lovely one there from Graham Searle, and there's also one in here from Jeff Wellstead about the 4 stumps, which is quite an interesting article. There it is there. Looks like it's got a badge or a belt buckle there, but looks of things with 4 stumps on it. Also the image there of the I think that's full of pilch with 4 stumps in the photograph there. Bit of an experiment, I think that was. So another great magazine here. Got a bit of Australian interest in it. Pete Schofield's got some more of his rarities in here this time. So he's dominating the magazine in the last couple of times. So, but well worth it, I have to say. And there's a little bit on there on the. I put a postcard on a few months ago, or a few editions ago. And there's been a book. There's a book, apparently I didn't know, about the Dutch side in what year was it? 1901 Netherlands tour. I've got a signed postcard of that. So there's a book there that has been found by Roy Coombs. So that's quite an interesting thing to try and get hold of. Rare little thing that is. So another great magazine there. £20 a year. Can't go wrong. So I'd encourage you to join the Cricket Memorabilia Society. They have auctions and meetings all over the country. So let's go into what's turned up in the last couple of weeks. First of all, we've got this lovely deck cricket ball, believe it or not. A bit smaller than a normal cricket ball. Cork covered with rope, fairly thinnish rope, but quite heavy. I wouldn't like to get that this side of the year, I have to say. But that's what the boys played on, probably 1940s, 50s, that one going on. But nice item just to go with the shipping connection of my collection. And Matthew Thompson also sent me over some cocktail sticks. There's about 10 of them from the SS Iberia. Quite nice little things. There's the SS Iberia. I took the 1958-59 MCC team to Australia. So no doubt these cocktail sticks, there was a few of them floating around in the players' lounge on that in those days. So nice postcard there. There's some nice cocktail sticks, I have to say. Thank you, Matthew, for those. So next one here is a lovely photograph here, fairly small, of Don Bradman and Phil Ridings coming out to bat. I did put this on Facebook and sort of asked the question, who was the other fella next to Bradman? Most of you got it in the end, so quite pleased with that. Phil Ridings was a skipper in the 40s and 50s, and also a test selector. So quite a good lad. And I think there's a stand or a bar named after him at Adelaide Oval, so I'm led to understand. So a nice photograph there, and quite a rare one with Phil Ridings in it as well, I should think. So quite pleased with that, and that came through the post. And then another one that came through was Jack Blackham. This is a postcard when they first operated the inaugural inductee for the Australian Hall of Fame. So there was 10 original ones: Spothoff, Blackham, Trumper, Grimmett, Ponsford, Bradman, O'Reilly, Miller, Linwall and Lilly. And apparently there was a box set of these published in 1996 when they first started the Hall of Fame. So that's my first one. They're on eBay, I have to say, 75 quid-ish for the whole set plus a little booklet, which is not too bad, I suppose, but by the time we've taken in VAT and everything else involved, it soon racks up, unfortunately, from Australia these days. But a nice postcard there of a famous pose there by Jack Blackham. And then what else have we got here? We've got a lovely 1959-60 sign sheet there, MCC, captained by Peter May. England won that series 1-0. A bit of rioting going on in Trinidad and what have you, so quite pleased to have that. I think Bobby Jim Parks came over when it was at Brian Stadium. I think one of his children was seriously ill, so he had to return home, and Jim Parks came in as a replacement and got 100, I think, in the last test. So a nice signature sheet there from MCC for the late 50s. So that was quite a nice addition. And then another one here was a scrapbook, seeing as it was Liz's Jubilee year. This is a coronation in 1953. All sorts of lovely, interesting photographs in here of cricketers and footballers alike. There's some footballers I didn't even know about, these boys here. One is just Danny Blanchard, who's an Aston Villa player there. Forgot all about his Aston Villa connections. And Roger Byrne there, Manchester United. The back page has got some lovely little newspaper cartoons there of the 50s players. Starts in the 40s, this one, with Bradman at the Oval being when all the players stood there and clapped him in for these last test match in England. There's some nice photographs there out of a newspaper. So it's quite an interesting little scrapbook there. 119 photographs. There's a 1953 Australian tourist there. So quite a nice little item there. And then I think probably the nicest one that's just turned up this week is this lovely one here of Andy Mac Duckett, a Surrey player, who's unfortunately died at the on the pitch at Lord's, the only man to do so. Here he is, he's in his football gear, being presented with a trophy, and he's a King's Royals Rifles Corps. But I'd love to find out a little bit more. I haven't had this postcard long enough to sort of find anything else about it, but it's a lovely postcard, I have to say. Real picture, real photograph postcard on the back there. So if anybody else has got any ideas who that might be, chap with one arm, obviously lost his arm in the First World War by the looks of things. So obviously a well-up man, but a lovely postcard there with Andy Duckett involved. So pleased with that. So that's about it for this week, unfortunately. So I hope you've enjoyed that one, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.